Hello everybody and welcome to episode 3 of Knowing ServiceNow. In this episode I will be covering details around form usage and specifics that might be helpful to you in filling in forms of various types, but I will focus tonight on the incident form. So let's go ahead and dig into an incident form. So we'll go to the incident section and let's go create new. And that will create a new incident form for us. You'll note a couple things about the incident form. There are a number of fields which are yellow. The yellow fields are ones that are read-only, means you cannot adjust them. Other things that you'll note on the page are magnifying glasses. The magnifying glass signifies that there is a lookup list associated to these items. So, for instance, if I wanted to look up the caller for this ticket, I can click on Lookup. And again, like in last episode, I can do star and use a name, and it will get me to that person specifically. Or again, equal sign is an exact match. A few things that pop up in addition after we've selected somebody is there's a show related incidents button. Now, I don't know if this user has related incidents. They don't. But if they did, they would show up here in this list. So you can look up if there are existing incidents about this person. Another icon that shows up is the detailed information icon. This icon has two functions. The hover function, which you see here, will bring the summary details at the top of that record. Or if you want to see the whole record, you can click on it, and it will take you to that record. So you can see the details there. Again, let's fill in a caller. Automatically populates location. Again, location details on a hover there if you like. And configuration item is selectable as well. From there, the system, depending on how you have it configured, may or may not automatically assign this ticket once it's submitted. That depends on how your system is set up. Beyond that, non-required fields that are useful is adding a short description in the incident. And if you want to add any additional commentary, it goes in this section here. Now, additional comments and work notes are worth mentioning very quickly. So additional comments are things that are put in that are visible to the end user. Work notes are things that are put in that are not visible to the end user. So if you have non-user troubleshooting steps that you want to capture, it's a good idea to put those into work notes so the end user doesn't get confused by those. And for additional comments, make sure it's things that you want the user to see. Something I glossed over here real quick is the icons on the right of the short description field. I will cover those in another episode, but those are specific for things around knowledge and suggested short descriptions. So we'll cover those in a later episode. Below that, you'll have a related records section. You can relate other records to this directly. Again, there's a knowledge checkbox that we'll cover later. So let's submit this ticket. So I'm actually just going to save it. Oh, and got ahead of myself there. So one of the things that you will note, let me go back to that ticket, is there are right-click options on all of the column headers. Those give you detailed options. I clicked on the save instead of submit. So basically, if you do save, it's basically save and stay. If you do submit, it's save and close. That's effectively how they're supposed to function. Now, this ticket is saved. It didn't automatically... Apologies, this isn't the same ticket. Let's look at the ticket that we have open. So let's go to Open Tickets. And it should be just the most recent one by number that I put in here. And you can see that it did get assigned to the service desk based on the categorization that was selected. Impact and urgency were selectable and were set to set the priority in the system. You can see the activity was logged here. And that is basic data entry around forms. Now, one thing I do want to find, if I can find an example out here, if I make a new change perhaps. Well, it's not showing right now, but a few things to understand about the fields. There are various colors that get applied to these fields. Again, the yellow one indicates that this field is read-only. There is a red field that is for required items. So those items have to be filled in order for the ticket to be submitted. There can also be a light red, which is indicates that it is required, but there is a default option set, and there can also be green for things that have been selected correctly. So let's modify this form real quick. I'm going to pause this and modify this form to show those things to you. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Welcome back. And now I'm on an incident form where I've made those customizations. So you can see here, subcategory is required. It's a darker red color. Now, once it's selected, it goes to green, meaning I have made that selection. Same thing over here, that state has kind of a light red color. It is required, but it already has a default option. So it's basically just telling you that it's required, and then if you change it, it lets you know that you've acted upon that. So that is some basics around form navigation. A few other minor options to cover real quick over here is the watch list and work notes list. Those are ways that you can subscribe to these tickets directly or subscribe other people to them. Simply either click on the Add Me icon to add yourself, or if you hit the lock icon, you can add other individuals in the system, or if you want, you can type in emails directly. And again, these go directly for the update areas below. So additional comments or work notes, you can subscribe to those. Lastly, probably one of the more useful things to understand here is there's the ability for every record type in the system, unless it's been configured otherwise, to attach items to it. So that's the attachment button up here at the top. You can choose files to attach. You can add multiple attachments. Very useful feature. Well, that is it for today. Again, if you have comments about my videos, please leave them below. If you have ideas or suggestions for future topics, let me know. If you need further assistance, please reach out. Again, this is Neal Laufenberg, and thanks for your time.